Hi, I'm Kim Kite, and my new collection name is Lil. I have a previous similar collection called Small, SMOL, and Lil also means small, and also has the connotation of an old lady name. So I liked it for that reason. I started off with wanting to do an all calico collection and really wanted to focus on prints that made me happy and that I would want to sell with myself. Doing the all calico idea, I started getting interested in vintage prints that have calico fills, like bigger motifs with calico fills. Not exactly cheater prints, but that you saw that a lot in the 60s and 70s. These motifs filled like cats, dogs, apples, fruit, other fruit, flowers filled with flowers.
I feel like I've also heard you mention all calico collection for a
Forever.
long time. Yeah, I'm like, maybe the back of your mind has been creating this collection for years.
I like the calico apples are really fun, and I love the sun patch, other heroish print for its simplicity. Just love those small florals. Can't get enough of them.
I always appreciate Kim's food prints. I feel like you have the most adorable take on that. And I appreciate that you got those apples into this collection, even though it's not in any way a food themed collection. I just love it.
One of the prints that I was most excited to see that you finally did was the ribbon stripe print.
Oh, yeah.
I just love it so much.
Yeah. Thanks. It looks so fun in the stack of fabric. I love just traditional quilts and kind of modern takes on traditional quilts. And I think this was built for those kind of designs. And also there's sort of a trend, I think it's still going, of quilt motifs as prints in clothing and accessories. And so some of these prints could make good jackets. The sun patch print could make a good jacket or quilt coat that you don't have to destroy a quilt for.
Yeah, and we're doing these vintage inspired handbags. They're so adorable.
It was an easy collection.
That's so unusual, Kim.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations.
It really is. Yes. Yeah. I want more of that for sure.
Real.
Yeah.
For this line, we wanted the projects to really embrace the retro and vintage inspiration Kim had when designing the line. We started with the ever-popular Glam Clam quilt, which showcases the fabrics nicely. This was also Kim's top pick for the projects, and it will be on display this fall at Quilt Market. Our other projects have a playful quality to them. Both are patterns by Pen and Paper Patterns, Apple Orchard, and Folk Bloom. They capture the flexibility of this line to play with light and dark colorways, which is great. And lastly, we have the Hexie bag. This is a free pattern that will be available on the website when fabric ships. We think the fabrics are great by themselves for this type of project, but also wanted to encourage experimentation, and we mocked up a funky patchwork version as well. We're very excited and curious to see all the bags that folks can dream up with this pattern.
Hello, I'm Sarah Watts, and the collection that we're talking about today is called Reading Nook, and it's filled with kitty cats, squirrels, and other book nerd material. So it's a kind of a personal collection because I feel like for me it was just needing a break and wanting to sit in a little reading nook and read a bunch. Mm-hmm. And so I just started fantasizing about this idea of this cute little reading nook that I wish I was in. And it had a little window with squirrels that you could see outside. And I was drinking tea because anytime I drink tea, it means I'm relaxed. And then I just loved the idea of you got to have a cat on your lap somewhere when you're reading a book. And I had to include a kitty cat print. And then the book print, just imagining a whole library of dusty books that sit around in the room and you just kind of go grab from them each day. And then the lock on the lock print was so that no one would bug me while I'm reading. I really had fun designing the tea bags. I haven't done something with lettering in a while. So that was something that really inspired me was to kind of get back to doing a little bit of hand lettering. And I also went to this tea room in San Francisco one time that I fell in love with. And so I tried to include the teas that I saw there, but also just making sure that there were some of the common ones that everyone loves.
It was so fun to see that print come together as you were building it. I think, the more complicated ones are always like awe-inspiring to see people like build them out and start with a sketch. And I loved seeing that. But that one was like, whoa, you did it.
Like one thing about this collection, I think, is it's a really nice throwback to some of your really old work. And it feels very fresh and new and has like so many of your kind of iconic themes, like cats, for instance.
The cool thing about this collection to me is that it's actually made with several different kinds of mediums. And it can be tricky, but I felt like this was one of the first times where I was like, I can do all three. Like I can paint, I can do Procreate, I can do Photoshop, and it's working. I think my favorite part that I won't forget is how enjoyable it was through the entire process. There's always like a ebb and flow with anything that we make. And this one it just felt good the whole time.
As we heard, Sarah was inspired by the coziness of a reading nook for this line, and we chose projects that reflected this, some quite literally. We chose Book Nerd by Angela Pingel because how could we not? With beautiful book covers made of delicate florals, bold tea labels, cats and squirrels, it makes us wonder all the tales that live inside these books. We updated Sarah's pattern, Cat Lady. That will be available as a free pattern on the website. It makes for fun and cozy quilt using the Reading Nook line. We love the Meow Meow canvas used for the Connie backpack, a pattern by Sally Tomato. These bags are definitely capable of carrying your latest library or bookstore haul. Lastly, we have a fat quarter friendly project, the Triangle Peaks quilt by Quilty Love. This project goes together quickly and it really shows off the softer side of this collection. This quilt will be on display this fall at Quilt Market.
Hi, Rashida Coleman-Hale, and my collection is Sunbeam. The colors are super warm and sunny, and they just make you warm and fuzzy. I think I kind of wanted it to bounce off of linear a little bit, so I stuck with really warm colors this round, and I just really wanted to try something different, so I went with some warmer colors this round and tried some combinations that are a little unusual too, and not my typical go-tos. I wanted it to be really soft, and I think linear was still warm, but just kind of more striking. So I wanted to tone it down a little bit with this group. My favorites are the women that I do all the time. So I think that one was my favorite, called Rebel Rebel, because the repeat was such a beast to figure out. And I was like, yes, I conquered it. The first lady I drew had the little lightning bolt. And after that, I just kept adding more and more. And the song was in my head the whole time.
Rashida's ladies are so iconic at this point. Like I always enjoy seeing like what her next version of those is going to be. And those are particularly exciting with the little symbols on their faces. Just such an interesting take on what you've already been doing.
Ooh.
Also just felt like fresh and different from the ones before.
I'm also partial to Rashida's floral prints. I love how you interpret flower shapes that are so organic and have this flow, and then you create these like really geometric patterns from them, and like I love how you see that and are able to translate that. It's really cool.
It was the year of the tiger when I worked on this collection. So, and I know at that time I was feeling very roar. I wanted to roar, the past couple of years have been so trying on me and everybody. And so I really wanted to include those guys. And it was a little tricky just illustrating them.
It was really challenging to narrow down the projects for this line. The warm and cheery tones made all the quilts exude Well, the warmth of a sunbeam. To start, we have included some star patterns, because what is the sun if not the biggest star? Starshine by Maudie Morgan, a fat quarter-friendly pattern, and Picket Stars by Everyday Stitches both showcase this line perfectly. With such playful and fun prints, they are really able to shine in these projects. The Orla quilt at the bottom right does this as well, and it's jelly roll friendly. The Lone Star by Quilt Smart was a no-brainer matchup for this line. The warm tones give the quilt a traditional feel, while the fabric prints add a burst of modern flair. The playful prints in this line lend themselves to some wonderful garment options as well. We have the So Liberated matcha top shown here in the Rebel Rebel print, and we can easily envision this print and the Burning Bright Tigers made up into some awesome PJ sets as well. Lastly, we have the fat quarter-friendly Happy Stripes quilt. This was a favorite of Rashida's, and it will be on display this fall at Quilt Market. These are the items still available from our spring home and gift release. These will all ship in October, just in time for the holidays for our shops. These are our most current and up-to-date basics. We've removed the ones that are no longer available.